Turkey was founded in 1923 from the remnants of the defeated Ottoman Empire by national hero Mustafa Kemal. Under his leadership, the country adopted radical social, legal and political reforms. The 1950 election led to the opposition Democratic Party and the peaceful transfer of power. From 2015-2016, Turkey witnessed an uptick in terrorist violence, including major attacks in Ankara, Istanbul. On the 15th of July of 2016, elements of the Turkish armed forces attempted a coup, but ultimately failed following widespread popular resistance. In response, Turkish government authorities arrested, suspended or dismissed more than 100,000 security personnel, journalists, judges, academics and civil servants due to their alleged connection with the attempted coup. Following the failed coup, the Turkish government instituted a state of emergency in July 2016 that has been extended to July 2017. The Turkish government conducted a referendum on the 16th of April 2017 that will, when implemented, change Turkey from a parliamentary to a presidential system. Turkey's foreign policy saw turbulent times in 2017. Tense relations with some Balkan states, peace initiatives in Syria, an illegitimate independence referendum by northern Iraq's Kurdish regional government, and the fight against the Fethullah terrorist organization are the main foreign policy affairs.
Turkey's foreign policy has changed its path, this time away from the West towards Russia, dominated the discourse on Turkish foreign policy. One possible shortfall of the foreign policy is that it puts excessive emphasis on a single actor. The main driver of Turkish foreign policy has been the imperatives of the regional geopolitics. Undoubtedly, the main threat of Turkey's current context is the Syrian civil war. Turkey is neither downsizing its foreign policy ambitions nor striking a conciliatory tone in the region. Erdogan said that Turkey will no longer wait for security threats to reach Turkey's borders. Instead, the country will tackle and pacify threats wherever they emerge. Increasing geopolitical threats, rivalry with Iran, and a turbulent domestic political scene in the absence of a status quo security architecture in the region has made Turkey's foreign policy reactive. Turkey is basing its strength in taking out the territory of the Kurdish terrorists. The foreign policy influence of this country is based mainly in security.
Mümkün değildir. Niçin? 1 milyona yakın vatandaşını öldürmüş olan bir Suriye'nin başkanıyla nasıl olacak da geleceği kucaklayacağız? Suriye'nin halkı böyle birisini başında görmek ister mi? Çünkü Beşar bir defa Esed kesinlikle açık ve net söylüyorum.
The current foreign military suppliers are the United States, South Korea, Germany, United Kingdom, Russia, France, Ukraine, Israel, China, Australia and Canada.
The relationship between Turkey and its neighbor countries is not going well. This is because recently Turkey is going through a very complicated situation fighting a war in Syria, in which the participants are the Kurds, Islamic State and the Syrian military forces. The Kurds, considered as a terrorist group, are a military group that work formed in order to protect themselves from ISIS and guarantee security in their hometowns. So recently, Turkey, Syria and Iran have been trying to avoid the spread of these military groups. Also, Turkey's relations with the US remain strained due to Washington's support of the PYD-PKK terrorist organization in Syria, its failure to extradite Fethullah Gulen and the visa crisis. This also causes complications with the UK and France, who are backing up the US to fight and support this group in order to guarantee and protect the territory of this country in the Middle East against ISIS. Turkey's relations with its allies has been turbulent. Foreign relations and affairs with Turkey turn out to be a bit difficult because of its lack of freedom. People state that the current US congressional legislation would eventually punish Turkey if they act against freedom. The US Congress must demonstrate to Ankara that there are certain areas that will never be subject to a bargain. The rights of American citizens over the rule of law in the United States, anti-corruption and rule of law.
Turkey's desire to join the European Union has been a priority. The Europeanization as an explanatory tool is used to review how the European Union has successfully induced change in Turkish policies and institutions, which careful analysis is also conducted into where Europeanization have inadvertently contributed to forming a backlash against accession. Erdogan has adopted ideas of development nationalism which some characterize as exterior politics, adopting a global approach towards Latin America, Africa, Asia, and other regions.
The economic relation has improved, reflected in an increase of exports, mainly in coal, and our imports in textiles, clothes, plastics, due to negotiation concerning a free trade agreement between the two countries. This has given rise to commercial bilateral relations. The governments of Colombia and Turkey signed a series of agreements of cooperation, which will serve to strengthen the sectors of defense, basing their experience to use it towards la guerrilla, trade, education, agriculture, due to Turkey's incredible development in this area and their donation of cotton seeds, and also tourism. Although the two governments talked about the possibility of getting Colombia into the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the exchange of students between the two countries. To sum up, one can easily see that the government has often followed a mainly realist foreign policy approach in the Middle East, and used the idealism for the maximization of Turkish national interest. Turkey has emerged as the most outspoken supporter of democratic transformations, aiming to create a liberal democratic regional order.